a robotic companion puppy from Tombot. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Tombot is Tom Stevens. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Fred. Nice to be here.
Well, clearly the Tom and Tombot, right? So,
Well, Tom and Jenny.
okay. Well, I think we got a sneak peek maybe a year or so ago about what you were working on. So let's get the update there.
Certainly. So we are getting close to our first customer shipments. We're expecting first paid customer shipments midway through 2026. What we are debuting right now are the final production cosmetics. Working with the Jim Henson Creature Shop, we worked with them to do our final, all the cosmetic design, but including the final touch-ups on the cosmetic design. And so this is the production, the production cosmetics. So modeled after an 8 to 10 week old Labrador Retriever puppy. She is meant to be able to faithfully emulate all of the look, feel, and behaviors of an 8 to 10 week old lab puppy that is a lap dog.
And tell us about the market that this is being made for.
Certainly. So, my mother was the inspiration behind Tombot. After she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's dementia, I had to take away her dog for safety reasons. She was quite upset with me. I looked around for substitutes for live animal companions. She didn't like anything that I brought home. And so I realized there was a large unmet need. And later ultimately learned that my mom's story is shared by over 300 million seniors with dementia or pre-dementia mild cognitive impairment. And about half the planet, about 1 billion of the 2 billion households, do not keep live animals as pets for reasons including health adversity, cost, burden of care, and living restrictions. And so we launched Tombot to be in service to those people. Our first puppy, Jenny, was designed specifically for seniors with dementia. She's designed to treat the behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia and reduce the need for certain medications, including psychotropics. That said, 71% of our pre-order and waitlist customers are actually ordering her for a different use indication. So level 2, level 3 autism, intellectual developmental disabilities, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injury, severe neurological adversities such as cerebral palsy or stroke or multiple sclerosis. And so we hope to help as many of these people as we can. We sell directly to the consumers. So someone like myself who would buy it on behalf of a loved one with a health adversity. We also sell to the nation's largest assisted living, memory care, board and care organizations, as well as hospitals. We'll have our first hospital clinical studies up and running this spring. And it's a who's who's list of major hospital health systems. So we're very pleased to have so many enthusiastic partners in that regard.
Tell us about the technology involved here. I mean, clearly the I guess you would call them the animatronics or whatever we want to. I don't know what the robotics look very impressive.
Well, thank you so much. So we studied with over 700 seniors with dementia. Basically, she's an emotional attachment device. We've learned that through emotional attachment, we stimulate positive changes in the brain's neurochemistry. And it's through those neurochemicals that we're able to help people with severe mental health adversities self-soothe through anxiety, depression, delirium, in my mother's case, hallucinations and violent anger. In studying with the seniors, we learned they have a very strong preference for realism. Realism, first of all, in objects of which they're already familiar. So puppies and kittens, as opposed to wild animals or fictitious creatures, such as humanoids or abstract characters. And then secondly, the more realistic, the better. This is when early on in this study, that's when we reached out to the Jim Henson's Creature Shop to team up with them. And it was through their animatronics expertise that we were able to create early prototypes to do our testing to learn what seniors really ultimately wanted. But animatronics are generally put together fairly quickly, or if it's a theme park ride, something that's meant to uh, go through millions and millions of repetitive cycles. But autonomous robots are a completely different technology, and there's a reason why hyper-realistic robotic animals haven't existed before this. It's really difficult technology. And so in our first puppy, uh, she has a full, just like you and me and dogs and cats and other animals, she has a full sensory system. She can feel how and where she's being touched. She can tell the difference between a simple touch, a slow caress, vigorous pet, and being held. She responds to a long list of voice commands, but only to her name. Uh, we come with a smartphone app that allows for a number of configuration settings, including renaming the robot. This is a bad AC adapter I think I have in her. Um, she responds to a long list of eight of voice commands, but only to her name. They all come named standard as Jenny, but the users or their family members or caregivers can help them rename the robot. And then once she's named, she'll only respond to a given name. She can feel herself being picked up and held, so she knows she shouldn't squirm around and risk being dropped, and a variety of other sensors to help her understand her environment and then exhibit a behavior that's appropriate for that context. Um, we have to generate these realistic behaviors. We have 9 servo motors inside her, one for the mouth, one for the eyes, eyebrows, one for the ear, one for the head, or 5 for the head and neck, and then one back here for the tail. And all of those allow her to move with a large range of motion, but also a lot of fine expressiveness.
Really interesting. So this will be rechargeable. How long would the battery life be for it?
So think smartphone that moves. She's designed to last all day on a single charge and then be plug-in rechargeable overnight. One of the things that we learned in researching real dogs is they sleep on average of about 20 out of 24 hours a day. We expect that to be similar, a similar use case for a robot. But if she doesn't, we should be still be if she's used vigorously throughout the day, she still should make it most of the way through the day. And when she goes to sleep, we actually do a lot for power conservation, and a fully charged battery in sleep mode will last well over a week.
So this is arriving, you said middle of the year, and tell us about pricing and where people will be able to find it.
So the second question first, the way to find us is on tombot.com, Tombot.com, and we'll be selling directly from our website the first batches of robots. We are targeting $1,500 as our retail price. However, there's still a little bit of uncertainty on that. Right now, our big work is preparing for safety certifications. Even though this product was designed originally for seniors, the child safety regulatory agencies believe that anything that's covered with fur is attractive to children as young as 18 months old. So we have to pass all of those safety certifications before we can begin shipping the robot. We're hopeful that we've designed with our current versions of the robot to pass those safety certifications, but we may fail one or more, which requires some re-engineering, which could also have an impact on our price. But we're hopeful and optimistic that $1,500 should be a reliable price. But we'll finalize our pricing this spring, right before we start reaccepting pre-orders.
Now, there have been and there are some other kinds of robotic pets on the market designed sometimes for older adults. Tell us, is this a different market you're going for, or tell us what the key differences are?
So this whole space was invented in the early 2000s by a Japanese research institute. They created a robotic seal by the name of Paro, Paro. Paro is a good robot, but it costs over $6,000. Most senior care facilities can't afford one, let alone individuals like my mother who need one for themselves to form that emotional bond. So on one end of the spectrum, you have prohibitively expensive robots, and the other end of the spectrum, you have essentially children's toys that have been rebranded for seniors. And while they're cute and adorable, for the most part, people lose interest in them once the novelty effect wears off. And so we learned that realism was critical for establishing and maintaining enduring emotional attachment. And so we're going after the same market, but we're not going at it as a play toy or a distraction or a novelty. We're going after the market as a healthcare device, actually to help treat severe mental health adversities.
So the site once again is tombot, Tombot.com. Congratulations on the innovations there. And Tom Stevens and Jenny, thanks for taking time with us.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for having us.